Barnum's the name, P.T. Barnum. And I want to tell you that tonight, on this stage, you are going to see, bar none, every sight, wonder, and miracle that name stands for, including Jumbo, the world's largest elephant, the amazing great white whale from Labrador, General Tom Thumb, only 25 inches from toe to crown, Joyce Heth, the oldest woman alive, the rarest and most beautiful bird in captivity, the Swedish nightingale, plus a company of hundreds, no, thousands, including marching bands, standing bands, tumbling bands, flying bands, bands of every size, shape, and description. And here they are. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. You don't see any nightingales or flying bands or 25-inch men. But they're all up here, mark my word. Because Barnum's my name, and humbug's my game. Wait a minute, where are you going?
Home.
But I got a point of view to expound, defending the noble art of humbug.
Which I happen to be in disagreement with, as it is no more than a shoddy defense of flim-flam, and so it does not behoove me to stick around.
Respect for the speaker, madam, requires you to listen while he sets forth his convictions.
And respect for my own convictions requires me to set forth, which I am doing.
Then go. Isolated dissent is hardly going to deter me. One small voice can quite easily be ignored. Of course, it doesn't help any if that one small voice happens to belong to his wife. Cherry Barnum, I'll have a kiss before you leave.
With pleasure, Mr. Barnum. You may not make much sense, but you're beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the main ring, the fight to the finish struggle of humbug versus truth. Flim Flam versus Fact. Mr. Phineas Taylor Barnum versus his good wife, Cherry. An American pageant featuring stirring music, thrilling spectacles, hilarious clowns, and savage jungle beasts. Presenting first, Mr. Barnum in an opening bit of philosophical folderol. Mr. Barnum!
Fact is, my wife's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Give her a mess of hard facts, and she's happy as a clam. Serve her up a bit of fancy, and she turns up her nose at it like it was yesterday's fish. But whether you walk away thinking my humbug was a blessing or a curse, you're still gonna buy it. Why? Because every 60 seconds in this world, a delightful phenomenon occurs, which absolutely guarantees it. There is a sucker born every minute. Each time that second hand sweeps to the top like dandelions. Up they pop, their ears so big, their eyes so wide, and though I feed them bona fide baloney with no truth in it, why, you can bet I'll find some root to buy my corn, 'cause there's a sure as shooting sucker born a minute, and I'm referring to the minute you was born. Each blessed hour brings 60 of them. Each time that wooden cuckoo shows his face, another sucker takes his place and plucks his quarter on the line to buy my brand of genuine malarkey. God bless and love 'em, but don't feel sad or hoppin' mad or cause a scene, 'cause there's a sure as shooting sucker born a minute. But ma'am, you might have been the minute in between. If I allow that right here in my hands, the smallest living human man, the side of that is surely worth a dime. If I present an educated pooch who's trained to dance the hoochie cooch, what better way to waste a bit of time? If I import at monumental cost a lady fair whose head was lost while crossing railroad tracks to pick some zinnias, who has no ears or eyes or nose and wears pink tights instead of clothes, if that ain't worth a buck, my name ain't Phineas. Ah, you say that's hogwash, well, who cares? You'll buy my hogwash long as there's a sucker born every minute. Each time that second hand sweeps to the top like dandelions. Up they pop, their ears so big, their eyes so wide, and though my tail is bona fide baloney, just let me spin it. And ain't no man who can resist me, wait and see. 'Cause there's a sure as shooting sucker born a minute. And friends, the biggest one, excluding none, is me. And I'll prove it to you. If I was to say I got a real live mermaid right here, how many of you would pay 25 cents to see her? One, maybe two at the most. But the rest of you are so educated that you don't believe in anything like a half woman, half fish. So you're not suckers. And you're missing a hell of a lot, too. Because I just happen to have a real live mermaid right here. But I'll be damned if I'll show her to you. I don't think she's it yet, Wally, so why don't you go tell her to put on that blouse I got for her? I don't want you to get all wrought up when you open the wine. Ah, sit down, you. Ah, now you're interested, huh? When you hear that Mademoiselle Neptuna's got no blouse on, that gets you up on your feet, huh? Well, it happens to be the mystic joining of earth and ocean that's the miracle, sir, not her uncovered bosoms. Pearly pink and simply beautiful though they may be.
Here it is in Mr. Webster's dictionary, Taylor. Humbug, something designed to deceive or mislead.
And that's the problem with marrying a school teacher. They go right to the books. Cherry, I am talking about rosy possibilities. The kind of humbug the pilgrims sold themselves when they set sail on the Mayflower. The dream, Cherry.
One question, Taylor. That woman with no nose, how does she smell?
Awful.
Mr. Webster also gives this nice synonym for humbug too, Taylor. Lies. Now don't give up. The evening's young. You've still got some rosy possibilities.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the near ring, humble beginnings, as Mr. Phineas Taylor Barnum, in his first appearance in the main tent, turns old into gold, quicker than you can say George Washington.
me. Birth certificate, bill of sale, writs, and testimony proving beyond the shadow of a doubt that on June 15th, Joyce Heth will be 160 years old.
She better be, Mr. Lyman. It's taken every cent I have to buy this contract. But from now on, P.T. Barnum presents Joyce Heth, the oldest woman in the world.
She'll make your fortune, Mr. Barnum. Just remember, Philadelphia.
All right, Joyce, we better get to work if we want to eat tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, step right up and see her, Joyce Heth, the oldest woman alive. Only a dime to see Joyce Heth, oldest woman in the world. Joyce, hey, ladies, you want to see something? She's not going to last much longer. Limited time only. Joyce Heth, 160 years old. Sir, you like older women?
Thank God I'm old. When you take a gander at the news. When
You're
you
flat,
hear
Joyce,
the
you're
lady
flat.
people yell.
You're flat. Up a bit, up a bit. Sit down. I don't understand it. They came by the thousands in Philadelphia.
Then they walked by the thousands. Mr. Barnum, you've been had. Anyways, what's so special about an old lady? A young lady, now that's different. You get me up here 140 years ago, they'd have come all right.
What did you say?
I says, what's so special about an old lady?
But a special old lady.
Mr. Barnum, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at a nurse about 140 years ago. She's got a little baby boy bouncing on her knee. George Washington.
I don't know no folks named Washington.
George Washington, the father of our country.
I says I don't know no folks named...
Joyce, that sidewalk looks a mite hard to sleep on tonight. And I'd say there was a pretty good chance of rain, maybe even hail.
What did you say that boy's name was?
George Washington.
Oh, you mean little Georgie. Well, Mr. Barnum, I pretty near raised that boy.
That's what I thought. All right, ladies and gentlemen, step right up and see her. Joyce Heth, George Washington's nurse. George.
When you see the shape the world is in, when the way it is and what it's been, when folks just care for gold, thank God I'm old. When you take a gander at the news, when you hear the language people use, when no sweet songs are sung, I don't want to be young.
Liven it up, Joyce.
Daddy time he doesn't fret me.
That's it.
Should he spy me? That don't upset me. Let him eye me. Come and get me. Good will ride me. Hey, don't worry me. When you see the way folks misbehave, when it's only good times that they crave, when kids are much too bold, thank God I'm old. When there ain't no he-man left alive, when they tell you 3 men out of 5, and double up, double hung, I don't wanna be young.
Joyce, do a little dance step for everybody.
I'm 160 years old. I can't dance.
Rain, hail, maybe a blizzard.
I'll dance.
That's what I thought. Come on, Joyce. Okay.
Oh,
That's it. You're okay. Now sell it to him. Come on.
oh.
That's it. Stand up straight.
Oh!
Ready. Oh, not bad, huh? Hey, she's on. That's pretty good for her. She's still going.
Let me tell you about the day that Georgie discovered America.
That was Christopher Columbus.
I attended him too.
No, you didn't. That's it, Joyce. Get right back up. Yeah. That's the way, Joyce. Take it.
Gonna get me dressed and powdered down. Call myself a hack and go to town. See every shady street. Oh! See street when strolled. Then I'm gonna sit back on the shelf, have a little nip and tell myself, my back buckled and bend. Woo! My hair's got silvery gang. When I see all of my friends laid out and cold, thank God I'm old. Help! Help!
Why don't you go get some rest, huh? You deserve it. Great job, Joyce. Great job. All right. Maybe I misled him a bit. But most of those folks went home thinking that they shook the hand that held the rosy bottom of the father of our country. And that's a patriotic humbug. And there's nothing better. Now that Joyce was a success, I started signing up other attractions. And I needed someplace to put them.
That's right, Mr. Barnum. I'm looking for a partner to open up the American Museum. But I don't want it to turn into no sideshow.
I can't agree with you more, Mr. Scudder. That's why I intend filling all 5 floors with the most educational attractions imaginable, including 3 galleries of art, a lecture hall seating 2,000 people, and in the rotunda, a glass tank containing a living, breathing, spouting great white whale from Labrador. And just to help you make up your mind, sir, may I present you with 2 courtesy tickets entitling you and a friend to 2 free admissions upon payment of 1/2 the full regular price any Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday between the hours of 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. Is it a deal?
Taylor Barnum, did you or did you not have an appointment to meet me for lunch at 1 o'clock sharp? It is now past 2:14.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the main ring, Mr. P.T. Barnum faces the most ferocious of all jungle beasts, the female of the species, who has been kept waiting over 1 hour and 14 minutes. Mr. Barnum will face this ferocious creature unarmed.
Darn it, Mr. Scudder, I thought I told you to tell me when it was 1 o'clock. No excuses. Just run along and I'll meet you at the museum at 2:45. Terry, I don't know why I took him on as a partner. He's so forgetful. Now, that's what we call a marital humbug. Problem is, with my wife, it never works.
Hogwash, Taylor, I believe you forgot that appointment all by yourself. Now I have to pick up some pamphlets at the Woman's Emporium. They have a lovely tea room, and I thought we might dine there.
Cherry, you can't get lunch in that kind of place. Besides, McNally's Oyster Bar is right around the corner, so I suggest...
That we leave it up to the fates? An excellent idea, Taylor. Head to the Woman's Emporium, tails McNally's.
I'll toss the coin if you don't mind.
Go right ahead, Taylor. I trust you 100%.
What do you think about that, Mr. Barnum?
Oh, I'm all for it. 100%. As long as she asks her husband first.
Oh.
Now, can we have 2 dozen oysters, please? And 2 large ales? And put a head on them.
Mr. Barnum will have the liver special, Miss Mortimer, and prunes, and an extra copy of Miss Stanton's report for dessert. Now, Taylor, you can tell me who this new partner of yours is.
Cherry, that was Mr. Amos Scudder. Him and me are gonna rebuild the American Museum.
He and I, Taylor, and with what? We haven't $100 to our name.
Brass and a bit of humbug. You'd be surprised how often it's as good as silver or gold.
Schemes again, Taylor. Schemes and dreams.
That's my nature, Cherry. I told you I was a dreamer the first night you met me.
Taylor Barnum, when a girl meets a man in the middle of the worst thunderstorm of the summer with bolts of lightning jumping off every tree and barn in sight, and thunder so loud it nearly scares you out of your wits, not to mention cats and dogs all over the territory howling to raise the dead, but you don't pay much mind when a fella happens to mention he's a dreamer. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have your dreams, Taylor, but make them sensible ones we can reach.
I want to excite people, stir them up, give them a glimpse of the miracle.
Miracle's a pretty fancy word for humbug, Taylor.
How can you say that? Maybe I put a high polish on the facts once in a while. But I've never taken a man for a thin dime.
You take them for more than money, Taylor. You get them all wrought up about things that can never be, like a woman 160 years old, and that woman with no nose. How does she smell?
Awful.
Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't use the imagination the good Lord gave you, but with 2 daughters to bring up, you ought to be using it for more sensible things. Now, I happen to know that Mr. Chauncey Jerome is looking for a partner at the clock factory. Why, I could be a part of it, Taylor. Write the letters, keep the accounts.
Cherry, I just can't do it. Tick-tock tick from 10 to 6 every day, only with an occasional bong to break the monotony of 10,000 cuckoos looking out of 10,000 little holes. Every man's got a temperament, Mrs. Barnum. Mine's just not suited to tick-tock, cuckoo, and bong.
I'm sorry, Taylor, I shouldn't have brought it up.
Oh, of course you should, Cherry. That's half a wife's job, bringing up things her husband doesn't want to hear. The Clockworks is just not the right color for me, Cherry. Just say the name. Bridgeport Clockworks. And what do you see? Browns and grays. And maybe if you're lucky, a little bit of taupe. But you walk inside any sideshow, and you've got fire engine red, and Kelly green, and buttercup yellow, and it's like being inside a gigantic pinwheel. Oh, and it's not for my own selfish reasons I need these colors, Cherry. I want to splash them out for the entire world to see. The colors of my life are bountiful and bold. The purple glow of indigo, the gleam of green and gold, the splendor of a sunrise, the dazzle of a flame, the glory of a rainbow. I'd put 'em all to shame. No quiet browns or grays, I'll take my days instead and fill them till they overflow with rose and cherry red. And should this sunlit world grow dark one day, the colors of my life will leave a shining light to show the way.
Well, Mr. Barnum, your reds and greens aren't going to do you much good if you don't get those builders started.
Good Lord, it's 2:40. Cherry, you wait here and I'll be back in 5 minutes. 10 at the most. And a half an hour at the very most. Cherry, if I'm not back by 6, why don't you come over to the museum? It's on the corner of Ann Street and Broadway. You'll know it from the sign. The big red one with purple trimming and gold letters that says Barnum's American Museum. The splendor of a sunrise, the dazzle of a flame, the glory of a rainbow, I'd put 'em all to shame.
It's your own fault, Charity Barnum. If you had just asked a few logical questions before you went and married him, you would have put a healthy distance between yourself and a fellow who wants to give the whole world a paint job, which I'm not so sure it needs. The colors of my life are softer than a breeze. The silver gray of eider down, the dapple green of trees, the amber of a wheat field, the hazel of a seed, the crystal of a raindrop are all I'll ever need. Your reds are much too bold. In gold I find no worth. I'll fill my days with sage and brown, the colors of the earth. And if from by my side my love should roam, the colors of my life will shine a quiet light to lead him home.
And now, for children of all ages, a cascade, a caravan, a cornucopia, a cavalcade of cataclysmically comical clowns!
Get back to work! Come on! You're not gonna have a job for long. Get out of my way! What is this? I can't believe this! Stop! Get out of here! Cherry, I bit off more than I can chew.
Nonsense.
We got an opening Monday morning at 9.
We'll be ready.
You suggest rebuilding an entire museum in only 2 days?
I do, my treasure.
But how?
Slowly. The Lord gave each and every one the spunk to do what can't be done, the brawn, the brain, the courage, and the heart. The strength to bend the strongest bar, the will to reach the farthest star. It's just a case of learning how to start. You build a tower up so high to a cloud. You'll anchor build it one tiny brick at a time. Bucks multiply till a bums of anchor just begin with a thin silver dime. That empty field, it can yield miles and miles of flowers. You don't need no magic powers, just a seed and showers. From the floor to the sky you can soar if you're wise enough to climb, one brick at a time. As you lay the keel, then raise the mast. Just a simple run. While beneath becomes a stick to pick your teeth. One stalwart chap with a cup and a bunch of hours he can scoop all the salt from the sea. But open up turning bows, the bowers all begun by just one bumblebee. To ride with these symphonies, or at least it's hard to feel the trills and all the gods. You start with love, so large you leave the rest in the dust. Be the best if you're just content to climb one brick at a time. Take a brick and place it on the ground to make it stick. Pour mortar all around. A cup of wine and stir until it's hard. And up she'll climb by inch, by foot, by yard. A sill, a door, a ledge, a window pane. Then drill some more, raise up a weather vane. A roof that goes so like this. A splendid edifice can come. Build a town, raise so high, brick a cloud, and place it on the ground. To make it stand, pour mortar all around. A rock, a vine, a stir until
Everything about my museum was spectacular, including the price, $1. Now that may seem a bit steep, but it was worth it. Look at what I gave them. Quite a lot of Roman terracotta, living lava from the flanks of Etna, statuary, ride a dromedary, see the temple tumble and the Red Sea part. McNamara's band, the fattest lady in the land, a pickled prehistoric hand, a strand of Pocahontas hair. Crow and Sue are going to be showing you some rowing through a model of the rapids on the Delaware. Armadillos, clever caterpillars, reproductions of the Cyclops retina, crystal blowing, automatic sewing, Venus on the shell and other works of art. Educated fleas, a tribe of aborigines, two ladies joined across the knees, a Mona Lisa made of ice. Hottentots we gotten in forgotten spots of cotton gin and night with blot and Sodom, better see that twice. One iguana, snakes and other fauna, got no bearded lady but we're getting her. When you duck out, just take another buck out, run around the block and see you, run around the block and see you, run around the block and see a new show start. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you, 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 and thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
5,000 admissions in one day. Only everybody's going downstairs to see the whale, then up to see the mermaid, the Indian, and Joyce hat. Then back downstairs to start all over again. Nobody's going out, Mr. Barnum. What are we gonna do?
You take that sign I had printed and put it up in the door. To the egress.
To the egress?
Don't be frightened, it's just a fancy word for exit.
But no one would know what it means.
They will when they get outside. Educated fleas, a tribe of aborigines, two ladies joined across the knees, Mona Lisa made of ice. Hottentots who gotten in forgotten spots of cotton gin and night with blot and Sodom, better see that twice. One iguana, snakes and other fauna, got no bearded lady but we're getting her. When you duck out, just take another buck out, run around the block and see you, run around the block and see you, run around the block and see a new show start.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. P.T. Barnum, the Grand Master of the High Wire, attempts a triple somersault and falls, which gets him plenty burned up.
Now don't turn around till I tell you. All right, now.
Good Lord, they're real. What's the man done?
A foolish thing, Cherry. Married a cold-eyed, tough-talking, hard-headed New England lady who's kept my crazy world from going up in smoke for 14 years. Happy anniversary, dear.
Taylor Barnum, I may have been foolish enough to marry you, but that doesn't mean I can't count. And our anniversary isn't for 6 months.
I'm talking about the museum, Cherry. Or did you forget that we opened our doors to the public 1 year ago today? Now you go upstairs and put on your best silks and satins, dear lady, because I intend taking you, me, and those pearls to celebrate tonight at the Rector's Restaurant in New York City.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Barnum, but I am not going to any Rector's restaurant. The food is too rich, the people too fancy, and I don't even want to discuss the prices. I'm sitting right here.
Marital humbug number 2. This one never fails. Cherry Barnum, I am married to the prettiest wife in Connecticut, and it is my God-given right to show her off if I want to. Now, if you don't go upstairs and put on your best dress at once, certain very costly anniversary gifts will have to be returned. Well, it almost never fails. Cherry Barnum, what am I gonna do with you?
Put up with me, Taylor, the same as I do with you.
We're out of step, we disagree. What's right for you is wrong for me. Together we're apart a country mile. But I like your style. I like your style.
We're out of step, we disagree. What's right for you is wrong for me. When I propose, then you protest. What's my delight? You just detest. Too sweet a fight to ever reconcile.
Too sweet a fight to ever reconcile. I like your style.
No shouts or quarrels, no blows or tears. One simple fuss to dissect and discuss for the next
100 years.
Each blessed
Each
day,
blessed day,
we sweetly fill.
we sweetly fill.
With no you
With no you
won't, and yes I will.
And yes,
you
I
wonder how we
will.
made it down the aisle.
How we made it down the aisle. I liked your style. Mrs. Barnum, may I have this dance? Blessed day, we sweetly fill. With no you won't, and yes I will. You wonder how we made it down the aisle. I liked your style. I liked your style. I liked your style. Style.
My dress, but it's not to show off these fancy pearls in front of your New York friends. It's because I love you still, and I want one of your damn marital humbugs to succeed.
Cherry, I have never tried to humbug you. Why, I'm surprised you'd even suggest such a thing. Can't believe that you'd say I'd try to humbug you.
Mr. Barnum.
Not now, Mr. Scudder. Can't you see I'm lying to my wife? Mrs. Scudder, what brings you here this time of night? Is there something wrong? Speak up, Mr. Scudder.
A fire at the museum. No use going down there. There's nothing left. I'm sorry, Mr. Barnum.
Mr. Scudder, I hope I'm being humbugged.
Alas, Mr. Barnum, you never taught me how.
Mr. Scudder.
Now, Taylor, I'll tell you right now, I don't intend on dancing any gallops. I haven't had time to change my petticoat, and I'm still wearing the same muslin one as before. But since the only dance you know is the waltz, I don't anticipate any problems.
Evening's off, Cherry. No use celebrating the anniversary of a museum that just burnt down.
Oh, Taylor, I'm sorry.
Oh, maybe that was a good thing. You were right. The whole thing was a sideshow anyhow.
Taylor Barnum, that museum was absolutely splendid, for what it was. And I will not listen to anything on the contrary. Why, there's a whole world out there. Why, right here in Bridgeport.
Cherry, if you came up with the idea, there is a whole world out there. What am I doing? Piddling my life away on the corner of Ann Street and Broadway, when there's probably 12 states that haven't even heard of P.T. Barnum yet. I'll build a new museum, and I'll put it on wheels.
Now, Taylor, I wasn't thinking about any 24 states.
Bring a little red and gold to the entire country. We'll start with a 3-month swing around the East. All I need is a little capital and a headline attraction to top it off. And because it was your idea, I'm gonna put a top line on every ad that says, entire tour under the personal direction of Mr. and Mrs. P.T. Barnum. Cherry, you are with me on this, aren't you?
I'm not sure I'm 100% in accord, Taylor.
Then everything's all right. We're quarreling again.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything, Mr.
You are, Mr. Stratton.
But our appointment's for 2 o'clock.
I'm busy right now. We'll discuss everything first thing on Monday. tomorrow morning at 9.
Good day, Mr. Barnum.
All right, here I come. I can't help it, Jerry. He's got that new headline attraction I was telling you about. Now you keep on dancing, and I'll be back with you in 2 shakes.
Droll divertisement as Mr. P.T. Barnum juggles 3 slippery Stratons in the air.
All right, Stratton, what's this about moral qualms?
Let me begin by telling you that my wife and I hold you in the highest regard.
I smell a humbug.
But as God is our witness.
Oh, a holy humbug, the worst kind.
We cannot allow you to exploit our son Charles's oddities for such a small sum of money. It would be an offense to the Christian conscience.
Now, the key word in that sentence wasn't Christian. It was small, as in sum of money. Now, what do you mean when you refer to oddities?
Well, any boy only 25 inches from head to toe is a freak of nature.
Now, hold on, Mr. Stratton. Joyce Heth is 160 years old. Madame Josepha has a 9-inch beard. Anne Swan is 8.5 feet tall. Now, what you call an aberration of nature, I call a gift from God to lift him above the crowd. Now, since the boy's old enough to make up his own mind, why don't we just leave it up to him? Now, Charlie, I want you to come with me and join my show. But I'm not going to lie to you. Hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of people are going to come and see. Some will stare, a few will laugh, but most are going to cheer and tell their children and grandchildren for generations to come that they saw the smallest man in the world. And we'll even give you a special name that goes along with the miracle of your size. Not to mention the princely salary of $15 a week to you and your dear family. Now, I've made it as simple as I can. The rest is up to you. What do you say? That's it! Thumb! Tom Thumb! Sounds a little skimpy, huh? How about Sir Thomas Thumb? Yeah, you're right. How about the Right Honorable Tom Thumb? Now, okay. Needs a touch of the military, huh? How about Captain Tom Thumb? What the deuce? In for a penny, in for a pound. General Tom Thumb.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on any stage, the world's smallest man, General Tom Thumb.
I'm General Thumb, just come to town, a Yankee Doodle dandy. I bet your scrapple washed it down with just a nip of brandy. The mayor made me presents rare, the ladies did salute me. First rate I am, they all declare, and all my poses suit me. My success should open up your eyes. Don't judge nothing just by shape or size. Bigger isn't better, taller isn't braver, stronger isn't always wise. Smaller isn't necessarily the lesser, gods can come in any size. Lady luck and favor, just a little shaver, over 1 who's 6'3". Brings in any tussle, mops the floor with muscle, bet your life and blood on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, General Tom Thumb's command performance at Buckingham Palace.
Bigger isn't keener, larger isn't bolder, higher might be low inside. When you need to lean up on a friendly shoulder, it's just as good as wide. See the mighty lion sitting there a-crying, bitten by a tiny flea. Mammoth was colossal, what's he now a fossil? Bet your life I'm glad I'm me. What's wrong in folk may lag along, in brains and heart. That handsome Hulk might be a Lilliputian mentally, proven consequently. Though he shows his shoulders twice as big as boulders, if the brain's a tiny pea. When you're in a pickle, he ain't worth a nickel. Bet your life I'm glad I'm. Bet your life I'm glad I'm me. Folks are scared to cross them, nonetheless I guarantee. Small as Yankee Doodle, if he's in the moodle, feed the hookaboodle using just his noodle. Bet your life I'm glad I'm me.
P.T. Barnum once again faces the female of the species with unexpected, unheard of, alarming results.
Thumb may very well be the smallest man on earth, Taylor, but you've managed to tell some pretty tall tales about him. He's not a general, and his name is no more Thumb than mine is.
I call it Trimmins, Jerry.
Was Joyce Heth's age Trimmins too, Taylor? And that woman with no nose, how does she smell?
Awful. And Joyce Heth's age was justice. I took all the years most women knock off their age and added it to hers.
Be that as it may, Taylor, if we have to be in the exhibition business, at least you could find yourself one respectable attraction.
Mr. Barnum, all my congratulations. Julius Goldschmidt. We met last fall in Boston, and I caught your show here in New York last night.
Ah, yes, Mr. Goldschmidt, yes. Cherry, you remember me mentioning Mr. Julius Goldschmidt to you? He's the man who presented Mr. Booth on his first tour.
Guess Mr. Goldschmidt. What brings you to Boston?
Boston is home to me, Mrs. Barnum. I just stopped by for a little visit before sailing to England to get that new Swedish girl that's been making such a stir over there.
Oh, Miss Lind. Oh, yes, I read all about it. 2 command performances for the Queen.
Lind, yes, the India rubber lady who can tie a right arm in a knot.
Mr. Barnum, Jenny Lind is an opera singer. And so all the critics say, her voice is the most glorious sound ever heard. But you'll get a chance to hear that for yourself when I sign her up to Crystal Garden in the fall. Well, I better get going. My train leaves in a quarter of an hour. Mr. Barnum, Mrs. Barnum, it was a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you in the fall.
What's the matter, Taylor?
Goldschmidt's a nice fella, and I hate to see him lose his shirt.
You don't think he'll be able to sign Miss Lind?
No, that's just it. I'm afraid he will. And America's not going to fill an entire concert hall just to hear some opera singer.
Oh, I'm not so sure you're right, Taylor. You heard what he said. 2 command performances. It's high time you found yourself an attraction like that.
Well, don't start talking like that or we'll miss the Chicago train. Anyway, how would I begin?
Quite simple, Taylor. We'll toss a coin. Tails, I run the rest of the tour. Heads, you go to England and make a deal with Miss Lynn's agent.
But what would I say to Mr. Goldschmidt?
Quite simple, Taylor. You tell him you didn't think New York would buy an opera singer and you didn't want to see him lose his shirt.
I call that a lie, Cherry.
I call that trimmings, Taylor. Bon voyage, Mr. Barnum.
Mrs. Barnum, this is uncharted territory.
I'm equal to a Taylor, and so are you.
Cherry, wait! It wasn't too late. I could have missed the train and followed Cherry west. But I didn't. I made the train, I made the boat, and I made the deal. Now there was only one thing left to be answered. Who the hell was Jenny Lind? But like that Shakespeare guy said, what's in a name anyhow? It's titles the public wants. We'll call her the Scandinavian Swedish Songbird. The songbird who scintillates from Sweden. No, I got it. The Singing Swede. You like it? I like it too. Unfortunately, Cherry had already made up all the posters, so we were stuck with calling her the Swedish Nightingale. You can't win them all.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on these blessed shores, the Swedish Nightingale, Miss Jenny Lind. Due to the extremely respectable nature of this attraction, Mr. Barnum's promotional campaign will avoid using any sensational claims. Jenny Lind does not walk a high wire 200 feet above the ground without a net. Jenny Lind will not step into a cage of ferocious Bengal tigers. Jenny Lind does not eat fire. Jenny Lind does not ride an elephant. Jenny Lind does not juggle 12 flaming pins at once. Mr. Barnum will rely upon the plain, unvarnished truth.
P.T. Barnum, Miss Lind, welcoming you on Welcoming you on behalf of 3 million people to the delightful city of New York. So, how was your crossing?
Vad säger ni?
Excuse me?
Förlåt men jag förstår inte ett språk.
Miss Lind, this here is the United States of America. We try and speak English here.
Engelska.
Henry, get me a concert hall. Miss Lind, you have to give a concert on this stage.
Ja, en concert.
In English.
I know words in English.
You have no choice.
Choose.
Choice.
Choice.
Good.
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 That's good.
Not good.
That's it. Now, say good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, ladies.
Good evening, lettuce.
Not lettuce. You eat lettuce. It's good evening, ladies.
Good evening, ladies.
Ladies, and?
Und.
And.
Und.
And.
Und.
And.
Out.
And gentlemen.
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 No. Gentlemen. That'll have to do. And what they can't understand, we'll charge off to the European style. And don't forget to smile. If there's anything no American can resist, it's the smile of a beautiful woman. Well, no American man, anyhow. Now, we've got to get started. So why don't you get right up here? That's it. Yes. I'll go up to my box. Good luck.
What's there, Nick?
In English.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Lynn would like to thank you for your kind reception of her program this evening and wishes to sing one more song. A song which she performed at her first concert in Sweden and wishes to now tonight dedicate to her new American friend, Miss Lynn.
Bortom all gräns, utom all tid, kärlekens lär och klagar. Kärlekens vind bränner som eld, skrämmer den högsta mörk. Bortom all gräns, utom all tid, kärlekens dörr ska oss för. Love knows no rules, love has no time. Love laughs at crime and treason, sweeping the stage, mad or sublime, knowing no age or season. Wise men and fools playing love's game, bend to the same sweet treason. Love's ever song, swift as a flame, breaches the strongest wall. Love knows no rules, love has no time. Love makes such fools of us.
Mr. Barnum, I am confused. Many gentlemen asked to go with me to the celebration this evening, and I not know which one to choose.
Oh, well, you pick whoever takes your fancy, dear lady.
Very well. I choose a very scholastic person. My English teacher.
Oh, Well, now, Miss Lind, I am a confusion.
Taylor, the carriage is waiting.
I'll be right there, Cherry.
The mayor. Also, he asked to escort me.
Listen,
Please
Miss...
hurry, Taylor. I want to freshen up at the hotel before the reception.
Oh well, perhaps another time.
Cherry, I got me a problem. The receipts, they gotta be recounted. Darn bookkeeper messed it all up. So, why don't you take that carriage, and I'll meet up with you as soon as I can.
This bookkeeping couldn't be done tomorrow, Taylor.
No, Cherry, it can't.
Very well then, Taylor. I'll see you when I see you. It was a great success, and I'm very proud of you. Good night, my darling. Good night, Miss Lind.
Cherry, wait! Miss Lind! Well, damn it! Why shouldn't I take her to the reception? Hell, it's only for a couple hours. All of my life I've been giving everybody else the dream. Isn't it about my turn? I'm a man. I got the price of admission. I want to see what's going on inside the tent. Staying home, living day by day. Maybe safe, but it can't be duller. Seeing things only black and gray. When the world is alive with color. Doing just as your neighbors do. Maybe wise, but it ain't so clever. Every man has a dream or two. Let them go and they're gone forever. Out there somewhere, just out of sight. There's a world that's blazing with light. Ain't each man alive got the right to stray just a mite from the straight and narrow, shoot through the night like a flaming arrow. Turning down to the highway bend, turning down every chance you're given. Takes the risk out of life, but friend, how the hell can you call that living? Staying put in a pumpkin shell is a bleak and depressing habit. There's a ring on the carousel, and it's yours if you'll only grab it. Out there somewhere, just down the line, lies a world of glory and shine. 1 square foot, there's gotta be mine. Once in his life, every man decides. Once when he stands where the road divides. Once on a hill as the morning grows. Once, if he will, he can see those fires glow. Flags streaming, spires grow, towers gleaming. In a land where the dawn is clear, in a sky where the sun's forever, on a plain where it's spring all year, and the dark of the night is never. Somewhere out there, just down the line, there's a world of glory and shine. 1 square foot, there's gotta be mine. Forget the past.
Ladies and gentlemen, the latest international sensation. The most beautiful bird in captivity, the Swedish nightingale.
Once in his life to behold at last.
And Mr. P.T. Barnum in their amazing Ascension Act with gorgeous pyrotechnic displays.
With his own 2 eyes, what lies out there?
and gentlemen, out of the main ring and onto the fairgrounds. A musical salute celebrating Miss Jenny Lynn's 50th concert in America, featuring the Potomac Marching Band.
Watch a fella with a big bass drum go by. Ain't you glad that you stayed? Hey, the tuba play that oom-pa-pa-oh-my. Ain't it driving you crazy? Don't you be so darn lazy. Better hurry and join that big parade. And esteemed members of the Potomac Marching Band Society. President and Mrs. Fillmore humbly invite you to join them on the White House lawn tonight as Miss Jenny Lynn makes her first appearance in our nation's capital. About you see. get one evening off?
Well, the reception is at 7. Miss Lind asked me to remind you that President Fillmore is stickler for punctuality.
Whole 6 months of this tour has been nothing but tea with the president, supper with the senator, reception for the chief justice. When do they find time to run the country? I swear, Wilton, I'd give the whole thing up just to get rid of them.
You don't mean that, Mr. Barnum?
I do. Goldschmidt's been after me to buy Miss Lind's contract back from me. And I have a good mind to sell it to him. It was all right in the beginning when we had to change an opera singer into a nightingale. But all I've been getting out of that bird lately is money, and it's not enough. My own damn fault. Humbugged myself into thinking I needed more color in my life, and she humbugged me into being respectable. It's a disgrace, if you ask me. I should be being respectable with someone I love.
But I think you were Miss Lind.
Yeah, so did I, but I was wrong. Listen, Wilton, I want you to send a wire to Mr. Goldschmidt, telling him that I'll meet him in New York day after tomorrow. And another to Mrs. Barnum, saying if that coin comes up heads, I might just be in Bridgeport in the next week. It's gonna be a waste of time, I know that. None of my female of the species humbugs ever seems to pan out, but I'm too old of a dog not to try. It's a disgrace if you ask me. In a public place, too. I can't believe what I have to
Phineas, are you muttering?
Me? Absolutely not. I think muttering's the height of impoliteness.
Then I'll just ignore it.
If I have something to say, I'll utter it. I never mutter. I may sputter, but I never mutter. I used to mutter. I used to have a mutter. But it's still a damn disgrace, if you know.
I bet I know what this is about. The way the French ambassador smiled at me last night.
Wrong. What do I care if some wheezy-looking Frenchie smiles at you? It was the way you smiled back at him. One of your number 2 special trembly ones.
Phineas, I'm a soprano, and we flirt. The way impresarios mutter. Anyway, what's soft for the goose is sauce for the gander.
What are you talking about?
The letters.
What letters?
Long ones, daily. To a lady in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Now, if you were willing to give up these letters, I might be willing to give up my friendly smiles.
Jenny, I want you to know that I'll never forget you.
It has been a lovely 6 months. Jag ansvarar to drama on Phineas. In English, I want for you what you want for yourself.
That's a kind wish, Jenny. Now all I gotta figure out is what it is I want.
But at least we know what it isn't. This game of love amuses, unless of course one loses. When do you think you'll be leaving?
I suppose tonight's as good a night as any. Will you be all right?
I think so. I have a dinner engagement with the French ambassador. Wise men and fools playing close game, been to the same sweet threesome.
Did you see those figures for St. Louis? Sold out 2 months before she even set into town. You're buying a songbird that lays golden eggs, Mr. Goldschmidt.
I know that, Mr. Barnum. In fact, you might say I knew that before you did.
Well, that's why I'm making you such a good deal. Now, only one proviso. If Miss Lind ever plays Bridgeport, don't sell me any tickets. Done?
Such fools have us.
Why, Cherry Barnum, what are you doing here?
Came up heads, Taylor, and I still think you're beautiful. My way this time, Taylor.
Your way.
Out of the tent and away from the midway, without the benefit of royal blue, Kelly green, or cherry red. The Bridgeport Grand Opera and Pageant Company proudly present Mr. P.T. Barnum as he lives his life in
Black and white, the future's rosy, black and white. The round dreams standing around, leave things the way they are. Run, tumbling, flight too far. Stay low and hold on tight. Black and
May the 7th, 1851. Day of days for Bridgeport's favorite son. Living well, he sent to Hades, likewise Swedish singing ladies, and the local concourse he will roll.
What is this? Get up! We got a clockworks to run. No lying down on the job. Tick tock, come on! Go!
He could run a clockworks Barnum down. In 2 months he'd run it in the ground. Purchase then 500 shovels. Said men mustn't live in hovels. And a new utopia I will found. Land of very modern town. Elevated roads to stroll around. So high it made you groggy. Built on land a trifle soggy. So as it rose up, it started down.
black and white, built a city that was black and white. And of fun, quite splendid as it sunk. Here comes another lurch. There goes the deep home and the Baptist church. Stay low and hold on tight. And black and white. So long, farewell, good night. Live in black and white.
About to see what a shame, but the truth is politics your name. Kissing babies, making speeches, posing with the local peaches, but respectability and fame. Put me an alderman, no wait. Congressman, I mean U.S. not state. Mayor, no, that's easy picking. Senator, oh what the dickens? Why not head our presidential slate?
Black and white, doing politics black and white.
Here's my stand on women's rights, and I'm for 'em. Slavery in any form's an A. Taxes have to be increased to pay the folks who have the least. Tobacco I would ban as of today. Come back! I was only kidding. Sherry, I'm losing them. You gotta let me bring some color into this campaign or they're gonna beat me.
All right, Taylor, go ahead.
Black and white, he's had his fill of wicked black and white. black and white. He's had his fill of living, black and white. So long, ta-ta, good night. So long, black and white. Outside the tent, after the show, behind the scenes and beneath the makeup.
What's the matter, dear?
Nothing. I just need to rest a moment.
You know what, Cherry? So do I. Let's sit down for a spell.
On the steps of City Hall? Taylor, that's illegal.
Well, that'll be my first act as mayor. Pass a law that says any elected officials with beautiful wives sit and rest on the steps of City Hall, as long as I'm in office.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Barnum.
You're entirely welcome, Mrs. Barnum. Impressive, isn't it?
The most respectable-looking building I've seen. It belongs to you now.
You know what, Cherry? Looking at you, smiling here in the dark, reminds me of that first night I met you in that thunderstorm. I knew you were frightened, but I kept wishing there'd be more lightning so I could get another look at your face.
And I closed my eyes every time the lightning flashed, so I never did get a good look at your face until we were standing at the altar. By then it was too late. Oh, Taylor, folks will think we're foolish.
Why?
Two old people sitting on the steps of City Hall holding hands in the dark?
Who says we're old? Maybe I got a few gray hairs, a couple laugh lines. But you don't look a day older than the first night in that thunderstorm.
I thought you were through with humbug, Taylor.
22 or 3 at the most, and that's the least humbugging I've ever done in my life.
And that woman with no nose, how did she smell?
Awful.
You're going to be wonderful in politics, Taylor. Of course, I don't expect you to be mayor for more than one term. I have my eyes on a seat in the Senate, and I'm not talking state Senate either.
Cherry, you're talking about Washington?
Head says you can do it, Taylor.
Running for U.S. Senate is nothing you can toss a coin on. It takes pondering, considering, contemplating. And how come, in 25 years of tossing, that coin never once came up tails?
I guess fate's just on my side, Taylor. That and the fact that this head has 2 coins. Coin has 2 heads.
Let me see that. It does have 2 coins. You mean you stacked the deck on me, Cherry?
I haven't been watching you for 25 years for nothing, Taylor.
Well, I'll run for your damn Senate seat because I love you, and I'd do anything to make you happy. But you have humbugged me good and proper, Mrs. Barnum, and I am most displeased, most displeased. Look at that, both sides.
Everything's going to be all right. We're quarreling again. The colors of my life.
The colors of my life
are softer than a breeze.
Bountiful and bold, the purple glow of indigo.
The silver gray of
the gleam
now.
of green and gold.
The dapple green of
The
trees.
splendor of a sunrise.
The amber of a wheat field.
Dazzle of a flame.
The hazel of a sea.
Glory of a rainbow.
The crystal of a rainbow.
I'd put 'em all to shame.
Are all I'll ever need.
No quiet browns or gray.
Your reds are much too bold.
Take my days instead.
In gold I find no
and
worth.
fill them till they overflow.
I'll fill my days with sage
rose and cherry red.
Colors of the earth.
And if from by my side my love should roam,
Colors of my life will shine a quiet light to lead him
Cherry? Cherry? Cherry!
On behalf of the party, Mr. Barnum, may I say how sorry we are about your wife.
Month after month, standing right there beside me. And right when we were on the threshold, now I don't want you boys to worry none, because during this campaign I'm going to be stronger than ever. I've worked a long time for this nomination, and it's an election I don't plan to lose.
Mr. Barnum, I'm afraid that there's been a slight postponement on your nomination.
What are you talking about?
What Mr. Templeton's trying to say is that the party's position has changed. We're giving the nomination to Alexander Whitaker.
What are you talking about? I have been barnstorming for the past 6 months on the strength of your promise that I'd have this nomination.
But Mr. Barnum, the decision's out of our hands. In 4 years, you'll make a prime candidate.
I don't want it in 4 years. I promised somebody I'd be there in January. And if I can't be there then I don't want to be there at all. Good day.
But Mr. Barnum...
Get out! Took me, Jerry. 6 months of making speeches. And they take the nomination away from me with a lie worse than any humbug I ever pulled in 35 years of fooling people. Thought I had it out of my life. I guess not, because it looks like if I don't humbug them, they're going to do worse to me. Cherry, is humbugging so bad after all? Look at them Rubens that came over on the Mayflower. Humbug with the vision of some sort of utopia when they came over. And it turned out pretty good. And Tom Jefferson and Ben Franklin back in '76. Humbug with a dream of a whole society of free and equal people. And their dream was strong enough to win them a war. Of course, I'm not comparing four-headed frogs and live mermaids to the Declaration of Independence. But somewhere way down deep, there's a connection. How do you like that? Haven't lost my touch after all. 2 minutes up on this soapbox and I convinced myself I'm first cousins with Tom Jefferson. Let that prove it, Cherry? That humbugging I'm the best there ever was? The Prince of Humbug. Balderdash, fiddle faddle, dribble tosh, twiddle tweddle, blather bosh, bilge and dodge and double dutch and flim flam. I am the king of hogwash. Tommy rot, jibber jabber, blubber bluff, hocus pocus, gabble guff, scam and sham and just a touch of white lie am I. Duke of tripe and idle chat, Earl of Oil, Lord of Blat, Emperor of Rigmarole, that I am, bless my soul, the Prince of Humbug, Poppycock, piffle waffle patter junk, hokum poey chatterbunk, wile and guile and trumpery, that's me. Don't worry, Cherry. I wasn't thinking about going back to the menagerie business. What I was thinking was a lecture tour. Tell the whole country about the noble art of humbug. Who's got more right to talk about it than me? After all, it's the thing God gave me the gift for, and it's given me everything I ever had. Even you. In a world of sting and shock, this moment we spend. Down a road of ridge and rock, toward Lord knows what end. Through a night as dark as space and cold as the sea. Someone's gotta make it bright, shoot a rocket, shine a light. Tell you who that someone's gonna be, the Prince of Humbug. Tongue in cheek, hippy hoppy, salad bum, tabba dibby bada bum, wild and guile and just a touch of skullduggery. I am and damn I'll always be.
The main event, the greatest contest of them all. Mr. P.T. Barnum, unarmed, alone, without a net, in a struggle to the finish with destiny. Bailey's the name, Mr. Barnum, and I'm here for my 3:30 appointment.
Sorry, Mr. Bailey, I've given the matter a great deal of thought, but I'm sorry, the answer's no.
I sent those plans and photographs to you last week. Haven't you had a chance to look at them?
I saw your pictures, and your menagerie doesn't look too bad. But I've been out of the business for years, and I'm not thinking of going back into it. But if you wouldn't mind a bit of advice.
I welcome it.
Well, you've got to hook your attractions to the mood of the country. It's 1880, and with Grant in the White House, we're expanding our boundaries. Your show looks good, but it's too small. There should be 10 elephants, 20 clowns, plus acrobats, bareback riders, a whole family of jugglers, and 6 up on the high wire.
Impossible! You couldn't fit all those acts into one little ring.
Then put 2 more rings on either side. Plus, a band of 40 pieces. Not to mention traveling grandstands you can put up and take down to seat 5,000 people. And a special train with 2 locomotives and 60 cars. And enough canvas to fit the entire Crystal Palace inside. And still have enough room left over to fly a kite.
Crystal Palace? Mr. Barnum, I sure hope I'm not being humbugged.
Mr. Bailey, whatever gave you that idea?
Well, I must admit it does sound rather good the way you tell it. But I need your help.
I'm sorry, no.
I need you. The circus needs you.
Absolutely not!
When the pill that Arthur gave you turns your cold to the grip. When a stitch to save 9 others comes apart with the rip. When the rats invade your attic and start leaving the ship. Follow my tip, come away on a trip. Just join the circus like you wanted to when you were a kid. Climb aboard before it moves on, and you bet your life you're glad you did. Go to bed in Minneapolis, wake up in PA. Pack your roll, your brush, and your comb, and get ready to roll, and get ready to stray. Bless your soul, you'll never go home again when the circus comes your way.
Listen, Mr. Bailey, I'm not doing it. Call the Sells Brothers, I'm not doing it.
When there's patches in your trousers and a hole in your purse. When your 9 to 5 is boring and your 5 to 9's worse. When you sneeze instead of bless you, you get cheers and a curse. Don't call a hearse while you still got the church. Just join the circus like you came to do when you were so high. It's your troubles under intent and you're bound to lose them by and by. Say so long to this intensity, pretty squeeze and a bang. Toss your hat, your cane in the sack again, shoulder your pack again, think of the shame. Kiss the cat and never look
know. Mr. Bailey, you got yourself a partner.
The biggest show in the country.
To the greatest show on earth.
And the circus comes your way. Ladies and gentlemen,
Joined the circus like I wanted to when I was a kid. Climbed aboard before it moved on, and you bet your life I'm glad I did. Went to bed in Minneapolis, woke up in show me the way. Bless my soul, I'll never go home again. From the day I joined the circus, they practice say you'll join the circus. They right this way and join the circus. To stick a banner in your head. Join the circus like you wanted to. Like you always wanted to run. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest show on earth is proud to present in the far wing, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing human cannonball. To your left, ladies and gentlemen, Madame Boisseron and her famous prancing ponies. And in the main ring, the amazing, world-famous Barnum Bailey Elephant Parade.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the center ring, a princely final attraction, Mr. Phineas Taylor Barnum himself.
Of course, that was a long time ago. Joyce had gone and forgotten. So's the living whale, the American Museum, Jenny Lind, and my poor Tom Thumb. And them Rubens that came over on the Mayflower, they've all died and gone to dust. Tom Jefferson's a memory. And old Franklin's flown his last kite. So my kind of humbug disappeared. Pity. There was a sucker born every minute. Each time that second hand swept to the top, like dandelions, up they popped, their ears so big, their eyes so wide, and though my tail was bona fide baloney,